Hello, everyone. Welcome to a episode of my journey with autism, episode 18. I have a guest with me this evening. We would like to talk about his journey on the spectrum as well.
Hello, I'm Ty Romulus Nyberg, chairman of Joobug Films.
So I would like to ask you a few questions as best as you can. Um, so how was it growing up in wherever you grew up? Like, how was how did you get diagnosed first with being on the spectrum?
Well, um, growing up, there was always they always knew something, lack of a better word, they always knew I was special, um, and I wasn't diagnosed actually until I was in the third grade, and I have Asperger's, which I know is not on the spectrum anymore, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of just and I never really let it stop me too much, just because I always kind of I my where I grew up, it was very supportive. Like I had teachers who worked with me, drilled it in my head and all this other stuff. So I mean, I didn't have it as not that I'm comparing my situation to some other people, but I always had it. I don't want to say better off. I'm not trying to sound like a mean or anything, but I just grew up in a very supportive area, and I never kind of let it stop me too much. And in some ways, I mean, I know I'll always have it, and like sometimes, sometimes the autistic brain, uh, you know, goes on, but sometimes I feel like I can also kind of turn it off sometimes too, because one thing I've realized is how my brain works, creative and a little business too. So I mean, I've managed to try to really use it to my advantage, but there's some days when you're just I always I'm always able to joke about it too, because I just think that I mean it's kind of funny to sometimes I think we got to just joke about it a little bit, and let's see, um, I that's mainly it, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying by you know, uh trying to shut it off in a way. Some people don't even know I am on the spectrum, but I am. I'm just so high functioning. And it sounds like
Right,
you as well. I
right.
didn't yeah. But yeah, I didn't get diagnosed until later in life. You got lucky to get diagnosed in the 3rd grade. I didn't until I was probably 11 and a half, 12 years old, so a lot older. So we didn't know how to help me as well as if you were diagnosed like you were in the 3rd grade. So you like I said, you got lucky with that one. So
Yeah, well, with me, a lot of people are surprised to find out that I am on the spectrum, and in some ways they're wondering if I was misdiagnosed, you know. But if that is the case, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes growing up in high school, in the special classes were great because then you could sit there and raise your hand and say, "Hey, I got a lot of homework. Can I do this instead of my assignment?" So, like in high school, I never had homework because I would always do it all in school.
oh,
Uh,
right.
so I kind of took advantage of a lot of the special teachers. 'Cause, it's so I mean I think it's kind of the thing that how some people just play. I don't really want to say play dumb, but so I kind of just did that.
Right. Yeah.
So and so yeah, that was. But no, I mean it was just very supportive, and the only thing I really struggle with that as far as like when it comes to that I've noticed with autism is I must have some form of dyslexia. I've noticed
Okay.
because I can't I can read, but like if I let's put it this way, I don't think story time is going to be very good for my future children. So
Okay.
reading aloud. So, but no,
Yeah, do you like, for me, I tend to memorize things very well, like, things get written down. Do you find yourself, is it more visual, or do you feel that, um, just people verbally telling you tasks to do when you were younger or even now as an adult? Is it, how does
um,
that, affect you?
well, I am visual. I can memorize like dates really well. Like, um, I'm a I'm a movie buff. If you tell me a year of a like a if you told me a movie, I could tell you the year it came out. Um, and I do have a I'm not going to quite say like a photographic memory, but like I can really obtain information very easily. And one thing I've noticed too is if I need to in a situation, I can also kind of baloney my way out of out of something too. So
Okay.
um, which is a great trait in
Yeah.
future business endeavors.
So, was like, for me, school was, um it was different for me. I never got actual grades. It was more of a participation grade for me. Did you ever get actual grades, or were you more modified in school, with your subjects?
I I got in grades as far as grades, like my parents always, my parents, one of the things with autism, they say how we can't understand sarcasm, and my
Right.
my my family. I mean, if you don't understand sarcasm, you're just kind of out. You might as well not even be in the family. So my parents would always joke that like, boy, boy, Tyler, your report card is the alphabet because, I mean, there were certain, so I did get grades, but it was more just some grades were better than others. Like math, for instance, was never my highest subject. I always pat. I, re- it like I was always the type of student, honestly, that if I got a D, I'm passing. so,
No, right.
um, but like for me, like obviously, like art and right, and English were always my highest subjects. I mean, there was one time when I just guessed on a lot of the. I don't know what it is in your state, but like we had the Iowa state test where like you have to take those state tests with this, you have to circle in the bubble and all that stuff.
Mhm.
I know that they actually thought that because I got the highest grade in my class and it was a math one, which was people were shocked by that. But I just did it by guessing.
Wow.
They so they actually thought I was a genius. So actually gave me an IQ test, and when I realized it was an IQ test, I didn't want to know how smart I was. So I remember purposely trying to fail it
Good.
because I didn't because I'm just one of those people like I didn't really ever care to know my IQ, because it's just like I don't you know
Right, yeah.
so I mean honestly in school like I was kind of that. I want to say I was that underachiever, but like I just kind of flamed high school by, and I actually did not even go to actually when I did go to college for business. Actually, I had to drop out because of family obligations, and I went to a community college, but I had to drop out because of family obligations on the family farm because Kansas, America's heartland. So
Okay.
yeah.
Alright. I mean, for me, I, growing up and still a little bit now, I never liked, people in costume. Like, say you go to Disney, I would have a hard time seeing those characters. They would terrify me. Same with the Santa at the mall, and Halloween was a really big, hard time for me. Do you, growing up, have any, like, sensory things or things that scared you when you were little?
I can't really think of any. If I was scared of something, like I don't want to say I was lucky and with a lot of people who have autism because everybody grows up differently with it.
Mhm.
But I always kind of if I had those sensory things, you know, it my parents always just kind of explained it to me. Like I think I remember, I guess I did actually cry at a Santa Claus mall, but my parents kind of explained to me that he's a good guy and all this stuff, and
Yeah.
and when I went to Disney, I mean, I yeah, it didn't really bother me too much. The mascots. I mean, I always went up to them and all that stuff. But as far as Halloween, it's kind of hard not to be scared of the costumes on Halloween because you're going to see it a lot, especially for me because Halloween's actually my birthday.
Oh, okay.
So no, I think just growing up loving film and movies, I think that didn't really bother me, but I know that is a big thing for a lot of autistic people. Let's see, like what were some of my senses? What are some of my sensors? Really, I mean, a lot of it I just kind of like. And like I said, I just grew up in a good support system where they always kind of told me that, hey, I mean, I guess the only thing that the only thing that is more minor, I'm the type of person I'll always I don't like to wear shorts.
Okay.
Like I'll always wear jeans, even if it's like perfect summertime weather for shorts. And even the only time I'll wear shorts is if I'm around the house or I'm going to the pool or something like that. So that's the
Okay.
only thing I can really think of.
Okay. Um, yeah, also when I was, little, I would struggle with loud noises. Fireworks were a huge thing. Like my mom knew I would like run away from her basically if anything.
Mm.
So did you struggle with any kind of like loud noises? Would anything like make you freeze in a situation that you think you couldn't have handled very well?
Um, uh, not like fireworks. I think it's more of a guy thing. I love explosions and all that other stuff.
Okay.
And I like loud music, but like I can't have it too loud because um, but the only noise that really bothers me, and um it's not so much on these touchscreen phones, but like the old flip phones when you would sit there and text with them, they made that beep 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 beep.
Mhm. Yeah.
That one just drove me crazy. But for me, I don't even freeze. I kind of I more it's more just I just look at you like I'm like like I'm angry because it's like I give you that the death glare basically. That the Clint Eastwood death glare. It's like because that one. So it's mainly for me. It's more just like very loud beeping.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I kinda have that a little bit too. If something on, like, say, the store was beeping, it's like, "Okay, can you shut that off? I'm getting annoyed," but yeah.
Right. Or well, actually, one of the big ones I don't like. Because I actually have been known to do this. I mean, I'm an okay cook, but like the smoke alarms, So if it's not that smoky, and like it's not, there's no need for a fire, for the smoke alarm to go off. The smoke alarm. So I just usually take out the smoke alarm.
Uh,
So
yeah.
that one, the smoke alarms really bug me, especially when there's not even like it's like why are you beeping? There's like no need for this. Like there's no that a fire's not going to happen in this amount of smoke.
Yeah.
So the smoke alarms are just loud beeping, just beeping noises.
Uh-huh.
So
Right. Well, let's see. I mean, have you, I've, had my job issue, which you're aware of. Have you ever like struggled in a way making friends or coworkers to try to understand you and try to
Ah,
help you get accommodations in a workforce?
Um, I'm kind of experiencing that right now, mainly just trying to find work for myself, and that's. But I kind of it is kind of one of the reasons why I'm actually trying to start this company more, and it's just mainly just try to maybe just start entrepreneurship, because it's just like. But I did it before, and as far as with finding a job, I mean, I did a little bit, but I had my last job for about 5 years, and I think I probably would still be working for that guy if he did not move on me and got married.
Ah, okay.
No, I've struck. I mean, I decided in 2019 or so to just take. I'm going to take a break, and then 2020 hit, and I've kind of been working cash jobs for the past 3 years, but I think I just kind of want. So that's one of the reasons I actually started my YouTube channel.
Mhm.
But then you know, I had some tech problems around last year with my phone. Um, T-Mobile and Sprint merged, and they were being um, weird with the phone situation. Long story. So
Okay.
my phone got shut off for a while, so I couldn't have, and then I got locked out of my email, so I couldn't exactly do anything with my YouTube channel. But I'm pretty much back now. I'm not gonna do. I used to do movie reviews on it, but I'm not even gonna do that anymore. Mainly just because like I think it is with the autism a little bit like there are some movies I cannot tell you why I like them. I just kind of enjoy them. I know like aesthetically and everything, they're bad movies. But like sometimes, I mean, if I get enjoyment out of a movie, it's like I don't. I mean, I can tell you kind of why I like it, but I don't know if I really come across as that I articulated how much I liked it or something like that.
Okay.
And as far as making friends, I'm always very friendly. I mean, obviously, and everything, but sometimes when you really get to know me, and I think it is basically something I'm dealing with a lot now, is sometimes my family is very brutally sarcastic, um, like to the point where it's like, what the? Did you just say that? Because I've always like joked with people now, like I always tell them right off the bat, I'm very sarcastic to the point where sometimes it gets me in trouble. So I've had that problem recently, now pretty much, and but I guess the biggest thing I deal with pretty much now is not people not really understanding autism. Like they think I'm, you know, like I need, I don't know how to word it. Like I need, like, they think I can't even do anything, So, and then when they see me, they're like, okay, but then they still don't want to keep me on for whatever reason. So that's I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of just thought, you know what? I mean, I am a Christian, so I'm like, well, maybe God's just trying to direct me in a path of entrepreneurship, making my own money. So,
Mhm.
and so that's why I've made deals with, a mutual friend of ours, Eric,
Mhm.
to make with his movies. We're doing some stuff together. I have a few other possibilities, but not guarantees yet. It's a nonprofit company right now, but I plan on making it profitable. It's just
Yeah.
a slow process with a media company. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get where you're coming from with the people like thinking like you can't do something, but people who are higher functioning like me, you, and um they're kind of like, "Oh, okay, well they can do something, but maybe we still need to like in a way baby them." But we're like, "Well, no, I'm growing up. I'm smart. I can do this. Please trust me in this, and I want support. I totally get that, and it's frustrating,
Yeah.
with me as well, my parents, or especially my mom. It's like, oh wow, I know her when she was a little kid, but now she's an adult, married, and wow, okay, she can do this by herself. She doesn't need
Mhm.
me. So it does get kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
So, have you like struggled in like getting like let's say a date, girlfriends, anything like that?
Um, a little bit, a little bit with that one. I had a my, but I think I mean, I did have a girlfriend for about 3 years. We ended up breaking up. But with that more, I grew up in a. My parents got a divorce when I was 12, so but with that situation, it was more we. I just did it. The I think it's more of kind of because I don't want that future for my future children.
Mhm.
I don't exact because statistically, if parent, kids who grow up in a, I don't like using that term broken home, but that's the because that makes it sound very horrible,
Mhm.
but um, you know, I more just struggle because I didn't want to get married at first, but now like it seems like I'm at that like age right now where like it seems like everybody's getting married now. So I mean, I actually would this is was meant to be one of my bad sarcastic jokes. I said, well, I'll just be a rich and famous filmmaker, so I'll just like find some young trophy wife or something.
Yeah,
So
right.
was my joke, and you know, and so, but now it's like I don't know. I kind of want to try, but I mean, but sometimes I'm always I always have that confidence and everything, but sometimes if it's like a girl I really like, I do kind of have that like oof moments,
Mhm.
so I just always try to make them laugh because or just say something really stupid.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it's been a struggle for me with that at that end, but I mean, I think it kind of today's society, with how some girls are, it's kind of that's just kind of more understandable now.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm married obviously now, but yeah, it was kind of hard for me in a way, just how things fell into place. I would have a lot of stress around if I did this correctly, and I would go to my mom and say, "Hey, this is how I thought it was okay to do this. Is it okay?" And she would be like, "Oh yeah, that's fine." Um, but have you? I struggle really bad with anxiety, and I find myself have sometimes anxiety attacks or situations I just freeze. Do you have any anxiety or not?
I mean, maybe a little bit like stuff like that, but I've read a lot of honestly, what has helped me a lot is maybe as in the process of starting my own business, reading a lot of business books, and like the number one thing that they always say in business books is, just try to remain cool in every situation. And so usually I always just kind of have that attitude. Okay, well, just remain cool, unless the situation calls for action. So, but I used to struggle with anxiety quite a little bit, but now it's more like just kind of remain cool,
Yeah.
or sometimes I also kind of like the one advice. Gosh, I can't remember who it was now. As they said, if you need to take if you need to take the shot of whiskey for your anxiety, take the one shot of whiskey and keep it at one. was their advice. So I used to struggle with that quite a bit, but I've gotten a lot better about that. See, like I said, I mean, I in some ways I just kind of feel like I still have autism and I'll always have it.
Uh-huh.
In some ways, I kind of feel like I overcame it in some ways, even though I know I
Yeah,
always have it.
right.
So
Yeah, I've come for myself, I've come a long way too since I was little. It's like, "Whoa, you're a totally different person," because the confidence level came up or whatever the case you struggled with when you were little, you do grow up and get help or, find, some things to help you in your life growing up. So, yes, I have overcome quite a bit myself, but yes, I like you said, we will always have autism, but, that can't um, define of what we can or can't do because we are capable of doing a lot and you could just prove the people to like your parents or whoever says oh you can't do that just prove to them and say hey I can do this and I'm going to do it and you will hopefully succeed in your dreams and what you want to do. I'm trying to do that for myself to prove my mom wrong in some things, so
yeah,
yeah.
well, I mean, that's kind of the thing with they. I mean, a lot of the stuff when they say with entrepreneurs, sometimes their drive was their is their greatest weapon. Because I'm watching a thing on Hulu right now about it's the things that build America and all that stuff, and they were
Uh-huh.
talking about Kellogg's and Post, the cereal companies, and like how they just had this big rivalry, early on, and they just always wanted to compete with them, but and their drive is what made them do it. So
Right.
it's the human drive is one of the I think one of the greatest weapons we have.
Mhm.
So
Have you ever had like, if I had a few obsessions growing up, obsess about things. Did you ever find yourself obsessing about one particular thing growing up or multiple things?
multiple things. My cousins will always bring up how we were when I was in the third grade again. Because third grade is really big for me. We were learning about Titanic, and they would always talk how I was obsessive about Titanic, and
Uh-huh.
they but mainly just movies in general, and mainly just entertainment culture, specifically like golden age Hollywood, and
Okay.
I mean, it's the get big obsession really. I mean, I could, and then one of the things that I'm really fascinated by is history. I mean, obviously Romulus is a stage name. I'm really fascinated by like ancient history, and you name it, a little bit of self indulgence, a little bit. But I named myself Romulus mainly just because I thought it sounded cool, and
Okay.
mainly just because it just what the according to legend, Romulus and Remus created Rome, and then they had a falling out, and then they Romulus killed Remus, and then Romulus created the greatest empire the world has ever seen. So that was more just a little self indulgence, arrogant, little bit of arrogantness, filmmaker in me, and I mean, it just kind of has a nice ring to it. I think Ty Romulus Nyberg. So
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I kind of covered almost as much as I can, unless you have anything you would like to, add to this.
well, I guess I just wanted to say also, I mean, what I was going to tell you about, with I mean, I still call it Asperger's because that's what I was diagnosed as, and I know that that's no longer on the spectrum. But and
Mhm.
I kind of have the philosophy, just with the guy who had who started Asperger's. He was in Nazi Germany at the time, and he would sit there and have to check people, see if they were functioning or not functioning, and that's why it's not on the spectrum. I mean, believe me, I get it, but um, we have to keep in mind, that was a I according to my research, and this is only according to my research, he did not believe in the obviously, but sometimes in desperate situations we do things that maybe we don't exactly want to do. But I mean, there's a lot of examples where it's just kind of the whole cancel culture thing. We basically are trying to cancel Dr. Asperger's, just because of that situation, and that's one of the reasons why I still call it Asperger's because it's just like, and you know, I just wanted to say that, I mean, I don't, were you, I think you are you just autistic or were you diagnosed as Asperger's?
Yeah, I was first diagnosed with that. I know it's a weird name to say, but yes, I was diagnosed
Well,
with that, before, and then after more testing, it was just like, "Okay, you're just basically just" I just call it autism now, or just being on the spectrum is how I name it
yeah,
now.
I still call it, I mean, I call it Asperger's mainly just out of protest for protest, really, because it's just like, first of all, I mean, it's a funny word. I mean,
Yeah.
Asperger's. I mean, and I think part of me, being a little kid, it kind of gave me a little word, something to say. I can say a bad word, and so
Right.
and I could get away with it, I mean, and I'm able to kind of laugh at it. Like for a while, it kind of made me uncomfortable, but now it's like, I mean, it's a funny word because it's just like, I
Yeah.
mean, South Park made fun of that very, very funny, where Cartman literally he claims he has Asperger's.
Yeah.
So, because that's one of the things. I mean, that's another thing. I guess another thing that used to bug me when there would be something with Asperger's there. It would bug me at first, but now it's just like, you know what? Kind of just embrace it. I mean, just laugh at it, sometimes because we got to kind of can't let stuff like that control us. We just kind of have to laugh at stuff
Right.
like that
Yeah.
thing. And um, but yeah, I think that mainly covers everything. If like you said, you're done, so
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think so. That covers what I think. I mean, we could do another one a different time on a
yeah,
different subject or whatever, um but yeah, I think this went really well, and I'm glad that you were able to come on, and I got to interview somebody besides my mom being right here. But so
yeah.
yeah, I'm really glad that you were able to fit this in tonight.
Yeah, and looking forward to the next episode, which I guess you could plug that. So
Yeah, right. All right. Well, I will let you go, and I would thank you so much for your time. So I will close out and say thanks everyone for listening. This has been another episode. Tune in and check me out on. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and I have a YouTube channel. So have a great evening. Bye.
thank you.
Yep.